Death to Halloween. After failing to rename Halloween in 2023, Russian lawmakers are now in 2025 trying to ban it altogether. In July of this year, Russia's Supreme Court banned the international Satanism movement, and now some Russian lawmakers are proposing to ban Halloween as being associated with Satanism. This is likely at least as much about fighting against Western cultural influence as it is about fighting the international Satanism movement. Here is an older post about Halloween. Perhaps it has not aged very well. It touches on all of the costumes and decorations which used to cause so much offense to the politically correct crowd that it is a wonder that Halloween survived at all. With the recent pendulum swing away from political correctness, it is not inconceivable that some will defiantly don their old Pocahontas costumes or commit some other cultural misappropriation. And yet, since this holiday seems play around with subversion, one of the most appropriate Halloween masks could be that of a culture warrior who is perpetually offended by all other masks and costumes. We hope that you enjoy this post, and if you do, please share Phroneo with your friends and relations. It is that time of year again, when Orthodox and some other Christian writers attempt to warn people about the evils of Halloween. They assert, and I have done no less in my much younger days, that Halloween is a pagan holiday, and thus everyone who participates in its celebrations by default participates in the ancient Gaelic harvest festival called Samhain, summer's end. As I grew older, I saw that the people who dress up as princesses and Marvel superheroes have about as much to do with devil worship, for this is often the claim, as the people who send each other Christmas cards or Easter candy have to do with worshipping Jesus Christ. This is all that I will say about that, and it may be a topic for another time. For myself, I still do not see any need to celebrate Halloween any more than I do the Chinese New Year, the Parinirvana Day, Eid al-Adha, or Yom Kippur. But I am no longer interested in writing pseudo-pious articles linking my neighbor's children to devil worshippers for merely dressing up in costumes any more than I am interested in condemning Russian Orthodox Christians for eating pancakes on Maslenitsa. Since pancakes are an ancient pagan symbol of the cult of the sun, round, yellow, and hot. Much can also be said about the prophet Elijah ending up as the patron saint of thunder and lightning, and also, coincidentally, of paratroopers, or Saint Blaise of Sebaste as the protector of cattle in the Russian tradition, apparently for no other reason except that his name is vaguely similar to that of the pre-Christian Veles, the god of cattle. Much can also be said about the traditions of the Holy Rus during Christmastide, from divinations to scary masks and costumes to special foods offered to the dead. Much can be said about that, but I will refrain, except perhaps to note that none of this has much to do with Christianity, and the Church has usually discouraged such practices. But the Irish heathen celebrations of Samhain are not unique in that respect. However, the Grinches of Halloween, of whom I am chief, just might see the death of it after all. And no, it is not our fiery blog posts and inspirational sermons that are killing the evil practice of carving pumpkins and exchanging miniature candy bars. After all, sermons have done little in the last 1,000 years, and there is no reason to believe that ours today are more effectual than those of the past. No, The butcher of Halloween is the modern phenomenon of supersensitivity and hyper-offendedness. It is insensitive to dress up as a princess because this is a class misappropriation and may offend real princesses or duchesses of Sussex, for example. Likewise, one should not dress up as a prince or a knight unless the same is in fact a prince or a knight. No more Count Dracula costumes. They may be insensitive towards ethnic Transylvanians and persons bearing the noble title of Count. Definitely no cowboys or Indians, for very obvious reasons which need not be elaborated. The Little Mermaid costume may offend persons with Cyrenamelia. A pirate costume is insensitive to people who have been victims of real pirates, and it may also offend Somali Americans due to the Western stereotyping of Somali pirates in the media. Additionally, pirate costumes may be triggering to people who are missing a leg or an eye. Certainly, no more skeletons, zombies, or any other costume with reference to injury or death, because they may trigger traumatic experiences in some people who may or may not have had such experiences. And no more children dressed as teddy bears, cats, or any other animal. That is utter speciesism and misappropriation. No more black capes, period. They may offend Orthodox clergy and monastics. Obviously, nothing sexy due to the abomination of objectification. No more nurses, nuns, witches, firemen, or clowns. I should not have to go on. The pious reader will understand the principle by which any costume is inappropriate unless worn by the actual person it pretends to portray. Halloween decorations are no less harmful in our culture. Heads carved from pumpkins risk offending people who are sensitive to all of the beheadings committed by Islamic terrorists, or strangely, to the Paris Olympics opening ceremony, which included a portrayal of a beheading. Fake hanging corpses are unacceptable because they trigger the historical trauma of lynching, or may be triggering to those descended from Spartacus and those with him. Spiders and spider webs are offensive to people with arachnophobia, and the fake RIP tombstones are insensitive to those who recently lost their loved ones. No more scarecrows in the yard, because they may scare people who are scared of scarecrows. There simply is not a single piece of Halloween decoration that is not insensitive or outright offensive to someone. It is very possible that in our lifetime, the greeting, Happy Halloween, will finally be replaced with the neutral, Happy Holidays, and everyone will walk around dressed strictly as themselves, exchanging carrot and celery sticks. Candies are offensive to people without dental insurance and may altogether be a conspiracy of the dental lobby. Perhaps then, Orthodox bloggers will stop writing about the horrors of Halloween and focus instead on the memory of the evangelist Luke or Saint Joseph of Volotsk, whose memory we celebrate on October 31st. Those on the new calendar will have a pic of several of the 70 disciples. Phroneo does not engage in trick-or-treating, but you could consider treating yourself or someone else to a subscription. It is only $5 per month, which cannot possibly be offensive to anyone.